I'm Greg Finn.
And I'm Jess Budd.
And it is officially Marketing O'Clock here on November 2nd, 2018. Remember, you can catch us live without a net here Fridays on YouTube or consume us via your favorite podcasting player.
And as always, you can follow along with us in our show notes. Just head over to marketingoclock.com for all the links from today's articles.
A shiny new Marketing O'Clock, I may add.
Yeah, we should really plug that. You guys should really go there. It's a good URL. All right, first up, guys, SparkToro has an article out this week. Basically, quick answers are killing your organic traffic. It's not really that dramatic. They call it Google CTR in 2018, paid, organic, and no-click searches. So over the last basically 2 years and a half, mobile, these no-click or zero-click searches, as they're calling them, have grown by 11%, and on desktop, 9.5%. And in case you're not following along in the show notes, these no-click searches, basically when you go to search something and you get the answer that you need right from Google, and you don't have to click through into the search results to get any more information.
And Jess, when you say Google CTR, I'm assuming CTR, click-through rate.
Correct.
Can you quickly define click-through rate?
Yes. So that's you have how many people see the answer and how many, or see the result, and how many people click through. And so it's basically clicks over impressions, if you will, click-through rate.
Fantastic.
On a percentage basis. So again, the amount of searches where people aren't clicking through at all, these zero-click searches, has increased over the last 2.5 years. Google's really been pushing these quick answers, or rich results, as the article calls them. How it breaks down: for every 100 searches that happened on Google on a mobile device in September of this year, 2018, 38.5 clicked through to an organic result. 3.4 of those searches clicked on a paid result, and 61.5 out of 100 were no-click searches. That's like a lot, right?
Yeah, that's a huge amount.
That's more than half if you look at the math.
Yeah, I think 61 is confidently more than a half.
All joking aside, I mean, as for why we should care as marketers, I mean, according to the article, Google is getting this content by scraping sites, and then it pulls that content from your site and it presents it to people again right in the search results. So if they're showing great answers and answering people's questions, which is their goal, people may not even click through to the site. So you'll want to be the site that they're, quote, scraping that content from if you can, because they do show the source of that in the quick answer. And you could say, oh, you know, awesome.com provided this. I love that brand. Let me head over there.
Yeah, awesome.com.
Awesome.com. That was the best I could come up with on the fly. But if it's a good enough answer, or if people need more information, even though there's a quick answer displayed, people might still click through. So either way, you want to be that voice, right? That authority, which is probably really hard to do because there's only going to be one. But even so, with the regular organic search results, or the blue links, as we like to call them, getting pushed down, it's just really important to be on top of your game from an organic standpoint. And the article does a really good job of giving some advice on how to do that. The piece that stuck out to me the most in particular, though, was focusing on queries that require more thorough research. So even if there is a quick answer that they can display, you want people to be like, yeah, that sounds like what I'm looking for, but I need more information to really try and get that click through. So I know that's a little bit of a big ask for people probably in many cases, but I think it's a really, really important piece of advice if this is the environment that we're living in now.
The thing that was crazy to me is 61.5% of mobile searches had non-clickable results.
Yeah.
That is a lot.
That's a lot.
And I think that the big thing is what can we do with that? You know, knowing this is the current environment, how do we proceed as marketers? And to your point, Jess, are those queries asking questions? Is there a way we can answer thoroughly? Furthermore, a few months at this point, we had talked about that speakable markup that Google had launched, trying to work in rich data and also things like speakable markup. This is, you know, on the mobile side, a lot of times it's answering questions. And when you look at assistants and you look at Google Home Hub, think speakable markup. So, you know, again, anything you can do on that technical side to make things easier will likely pay off looking at this astonishing 61.5% data.
Yeah. And just to be clear, that was on mobile. And on desktop, it's still pretty high. It's over a third of the results on desktop too, were non-click searches. So it's happening everywhere. It's not just on mobile. One thing that I forgot to mention before too is that not only are they doing more with these quick answers, but they're also, again, there was a big change a couple years ago that really made ads look a little bit more organic. They still, have to write ad next to it, but click-through rate, CTR on ads has gone up over the last 2 years too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they look pretty much like organic results.
You're saying that changing it from a bright yellow ad notation to dark green, to then inverting the dark green to light, to having a transparent background is making the ad clicks go up?
It is.
Who would have thought?
Google makes more money that way, right?
Yeah.
So just a lot to think about. It's a really good article, definitely.
Okay, and all that data was from JumpShot, and I believe it was compiled by Rand Fishkin. And next up this week, Google is releasing a new design for hotel search results. Many of you right now may be thinking at this moment that, hey, I don't have a hotel, nor do I work for a hotel. But it does matter.
It does.
And here's why. Google is looking to diversify listings, and they're doing so in a way where you may see this when you're looking to book a trip, now looking to book a hotel. The listings now look very reminiscent of something like TripAdvisor, or you see these in-depth hotel cards. You see a map with the dollar amount per night next to each location. And this is now a destination. Google is no longer providing results. They're providing a service for getting people hotel listings.
And it works pretty well. I mean, I was just using this last week to plan a trip. All the information that you need is pretty much there.
Yes.
On Google.
Absolutely. And to that point, you may have seen that with flights. And one of our coworkers here, Cole, we were just recently booking a trip to New York City, and he said, go use Google Flights. Of course, as a longtime search marketer, I was flabbergasted and appalled with the fact that I'd be using
know better.
Google. But I think the moral of the story is it's hotels today, and it may be you tomorrow. And if you look at something like TripAdvisor, initially they had gathered so much of their business from results and Google search engine results rankings. And then they said, hey, we're going to be a brand and we're going to make a great app and we're going to keep people on and we're not going to rely on this. And it's something, hey, don't be complacent. People that had been promoting hotels in the past looked positively on Google, and now they're eating their lunch. So it's hotels today and it may be you tomorrow.
I love that. That's a really good line. And it's a little bit reminiscent to me of what we talked about last week with the CTA buttons that they were forcing onto Google My Business listings. It's not exactly the same thing by any means, but just people losing a little bit of control. And, when you want people to come to your site to look at your hotel, you would hope that, again, hopefully they book through Google and it's working, but it's just another way to get them what they're doing on Google.
Right. And if Google makes a couple of shekels off that click, they'll likely go that route.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's stop talking about Google for a minute because I feel like we're getting upset here. Let's talk about Facebook instead. They are improving the transparency when it comes to sharing your Facebook pixel and offline event sets. They're rolling out new requirements when you're sharing a pixel or event data with a partner or an agency or someone else that you work with on Facebook. You're going to have to explain now when you do this to Facebook how you're working with that person that you're sharing this data with. And it's not that difficult. They give you, I think, 3 or 4 options and you just select all that applies. You could say, yeah, they're an agency acting on my behalf or something like that. So it's really pretty simple, but it's a big deal. And it is rolling out right now with anyone that is initiating a new share of their pixel or events. But by mid-2019, which is pretty soon, and it's, about 7-8 months away from now, all businesses that have already shared pixels or events will be asked to fill out the form as well, and they want everyone to be compliant. So just important for us as marketers, whether you're an in-house person or you're on the agency side, just give whoever you're working with a heads up that this is coming. This is something they're going to have to fill out. It should be seen hopefully as, an additional trust signal for advertisers, and it's not too much of a burden, just a couple boxes to tick, but something to keep an eye out for.
And my favorite thing with this is that Facebook always uses the same example company with everything they roll out. And it's usually Jasper's Market.
Love Jasper.
And it's a big green background with a white J on there. And this time they call it Jasper's Ad Agency.
That's
like
cute.
They're going all in on Jasper's. And then my favorite thing is I keep seeing this company, this fake company. And so I was looking it up in the past, being like, hey, is Jasper's a real thing? It's not. But apparently there's like a one-off Jasper's and everybody complains on the fake Jasper page
about the
some
real
actual
Jasper.
Jaspers.
That's really
and
funny.
that got me thinking that what we're going to get to in a minute here, but Google launched this new reCAPTCHA coming out, and they made something called a fake business called Meow Boutique Quality Cat Supplies. And I was joking around on Twitter with it, and my buddy from CBS, John Henshaw, was saying that one time he had floated the fake company name and got it approved called Cheese Pickle. And so I just am a big fan of fake company names in general. And I heard Cheese Pickle and thought it was worth a shot.
That sounds delicious anyway. I hope they become a real company.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right. Next up, Google.com. When you go to the mobile homepage, is no longer a search box and now shows Google's Discover feed.
What? Hang on, because I'm a noob and I'm an iOS
hey,
user.
noob.
What's Google Discover?
Okay, so Google Discover has curated stories based off of your history or interests that you've signaled that you like. You may have heard it be called Google Now back in the day. Roughly a month and a half ago, it was called the Feed, Google Feed, and now it is officially called Google Discover. If you have a Google phone, you can swipe left and you'll likely get to Google Discover. If you have the Google app, you should see Google Discover there. And now, if you go to google.com, you will see Discover stories showing up. And this doesn't seem like a big deal, and you might not think it's a big deal for you, but it is. And Google is really pushing this sort of discovery service, and it's actually really nice. With some of the new controls that you have, you can not mute stories, but you can tone them down. You can get more of certain interests that you like, or you can stop them altogether. And it kind of leads us into this next story that segues really well with this article, is that there's a new native test that was spotted in the wild on Google Discover. And the test itself really looked fantastic, and it used the responsive ads from Google Ads to show what you might see typically in a responsive banner into your Discover feed. The example that they gave was for Quicken Loans, and it still looked good. I don't know why.
It really did, though. Yeah. That's as native as you can get.
It did. It looked fantastic. And then the one gripe that I had is I'm a big fan of Google Discover. As you well know, Jess, I've been trying to convert you for months and months and months. The thing I love about it is that you can just say, hey, politics, no thanks. No. Don't want to be depressed today. Exit out. And with the ad, you couldn't be like, no, I don't want any Quicken Loans here. Like, you could see it come through that, oh, the interest, this is an ad and it's Quicken Loans. I just want to be like, no thanks. Get this one out of here. Like, this is my Discover feed. Let me get some of those kind of muting options for there.
But for the ads, you want the muting options?
Yeah, because I don't want Quicken Loans pulled into my Discover. Like, what kind of weirdo am I? Like, I just love Quicken Loans.
They want you to discover.
Yeah, what's
them.
Dan Gilbert doing now? I just love Quicken. He's the owner of the Cavs, who owns Quicken Loans.
Calves, like baby cows.
No, like the basketball team. Sports with Jess.
He's a farmer and a banker. Yeah, sports and loans. There's a joke here about how we can discover new opportunities as marketers and advertisers, right? Somewhere, because that could be huge for us, especially if it does look just like part of your feed. People are going to be clicking through. I feel like it could be a good thing, even though you want to be able to turn it off. But as a marketer, do you want people to be able to turn down your ads?
I mean, the whole reason for this is for Google to discover a new source of revenue. That's it. But overall, really good. Check it out in the show notes. Look at the Quicken example here and judge for yourself. But overall, it is something that we all should really be paying attention towards, especially towards your article that you talked about first here with 61.5% of non-click results. Where else are they going to come from? Maybe it's Discover.
That remains to be discovered.
All right. And that brings us to this week's lightning round.
Choo! And first up, there are 2 new features available in the ad preview and diagnosis tool, whatever, from Google. You can use it based on, you can act as if you're one of the audiences that you're targeting, which is cool. And you can also make changes from right within the tool. If Google is telling you your ad isn't showing for a budgetary reason, this is the first thing that they're releasing, you'll be able to fix that right there without having to go back into Google Ads, which is cool.
Yes. The only thing, instead of adding 2 new features, it'd be nice to have 3 new features where you could click on actually one of the ads and see what the landing pages are.
Why would you ever want to do that?
Because I'm looking for more than less.
Are you trying to solve problems?
Yes. Oh, okay. That's
Whatever.
I
agree.
Right. Next up, LinkedIn. I still have last week's episode on mind. LinkedIn is introducing measurement with Google Campaign Manager. In case you don't know, Google's marketing platform, formerly known as the DoubleClick Campaign Manager, is the metric for or the platform for measuring ad performance. And now you can see LinkedIn alongside the rest of your spend. You can see the attribution for all ads across all impressions and interactions within Campaign Manager.
Very nice. Twitter recently, I don't know, at some point, they increased the character limit up to 280 characters. And after all of this time, we are seeing that Shakespeare was right when he said brevity is the soul of wit. And I know Halloween's over, but Stephen King said, kill your babies, make it shorter. I'm trying to make this quick. But basically, they were both right. According to Twitter, nobody wants to talk that much. Only about 1% of the tweets are hitting that elevated character limit.
And Biz Stone from Twitter had followed up saying that the use of please is up 54% and the use of thank you is up 22%.
That's really sweet.
Non-reported fact, the number of like FUs, like it was all like positives. Like, let me know how much else is out there.
I want to know. Someone please do a study. Let us know.
Okay, next up, Google has introduced reCAPTCHA version 3.0. And with this version of reCAPTCHA, you no longer have to decipher all of the street signs, the cars, the trucks, the addresses, and do Google's work for them. This new version of reCAPTCHA takes a look at your entire actions on a website. They have a good video. Again, it has that cat boutique or whatever. Not cheese pickle, but it's something to take a look at to make it easier on your audience.
Yes, I love easy. Google Ads has now added a segmentation on their store visit conversion action. They are basically letting you know if they are a new person coming to your store or a returning visitor to your store. And I think that's great. I want that information for everything. I just feel like let's just hook us up with that data everywhere, please.
Yes. All right. Next up, make money from your actions with Google's Assistant by creating better user experiences. And Alexa has what's called skills. The Google Assistant has what's called actions. And you can now monetize those actions by creating your own actions and tying them in with some sort of platform that you have. A good example that Google had showed was that you could say, play Castle Master. And because I don't know what that is. You probably play it. I know you. No. And they'll say, all right, it's going to cost $2.99. And then you can verbally say, okay, charge me that. And then boom, you're mastering castles or something. Oh, and so that is now something that you can do and you can monetize via actions.
Well, I love in-app purchases is my weakness, so can't wait.
I just hope that nobody figures out how to monetize like candy purchases, because my kids have figured out how to add things to a shopping list already. Oh. And they're just like, Google, add M&Ms to the shopping list. And they're like, if they're going to be like, well, it's going to be $5 for M&Ms to be delivered. Is that okay?
Yeah.
They're just like, yeah. So I may have to look about turning this off.
A little throwback. I can't believe no one talked about M&Ms in our candy draft.
Oh, good point.
Just
peanut butter M&Ms should have been high up the list. If you missed it last week,
we did.
After the podcast, we had a candy draft.
Yeah, and it didn't involve M&Ms. So whoops, big mistake on our part. All right, if you're using insertion orders in Bing ads, your life just got a lot easier because they're going to let you set these up to recur, and you can set an end date for them or let them run indefinitely, which is great if that's what you want. But, maybe you should keep sort of an eye on things, set them up for a year or something and come back. But cool feature.
If you think about it too, just like deep thought, it's Bing ads insertion order. Acronym, Bayo. Like Scott Baio. Oh my God. Charles in Charge, Chachi. I'm only going to refer to this as Bayo now.
I really appreciate that you call this a deep thought.
This is what I think about when I'm up at night not sleeping.
Joni loves Chachi, right? Joni loves insertion orders. There you go, Bing.
Jeez. All right, next up this week, Vice.com posed as 100 senators to run ads on Facebook. And guess what? Out of these fake 100 senators, Facebook approved all.
They approved what? All of them?
All of them.
Do you know, I have logged into Facebook so many times this week and can't stop laughing. Oh my God. So on Facebook, they have that new little checkbox where you have to tell them yes or no, you're running political ads from your ads account. And I keep having to tell them no on the same account over and over and over again. But fake senators can run ads. And Greg is gone. And I'm just going to keep talking because
my big question is, so we've got 100 fake senators that were approved to run ads. What if they won? Would we be better off today with 100 fake senators than whatever we have right now? That was just, again, one of my deep thoughts
they're
here.
Pretty fun people.
That's this week. All right.
Oh, I vote yes. So you should definitely fill in your meta descriptions, even though they're probably, or possibly, I should say, going to be ignored by Google in favor of your site's actual content. And why you should do this is because Google said so. They literally tweeted this. Greg is still laughing and I can't take anything seriously, but this is stupid news anyway. So that's it. Just please write your own meta descriptions and write your 100 fake senators if they're not being used.
I love how the advice is, put your meta descriptions in so that we don't have to use them. Like we use them like, what was it, 65% of the time? Yeah, do all this work. It doesn't have any intrinsic impact on your search engine results, but just do it anyway, just because.
Because I said so.
Because I said so.
The age-old
Why should we do it? Oh, because I said so. All right, next up this week, Google My Business adds a setting for Google Assistant calls over Duplex. In case you don't know what Duplex was, it's a machine learning, or I guess just a machine automated voice that could do tasks for you. When Google announced this back in May, there was a good example of somebody, a Google Assistant scheduling a haircut that sounded very human. And there was a lot of blowback on this. People saying, well, this is unethical. You've got these machines talking to people, not identifying themselves as machines. And so now, if you are signed up for My Business, you can say, yes, I will accept calls from Duplex.
Yes. And this is something you can actually disable, which is nice.
And it's good because, hey, you might not want to talk to robots. Like that might be your thing. You just want to do business with humans. That's fine.
How odd. Yeah. Anyway, cool stuff though. And it's nice that you can actually disable it. Google's not taking all the control away. Google Maps has added a follow button to give businesses a new way to connect with users. That is the headline. That says it all. I have nothing further to add.
Well, so Google bought Waze a while back, and in Waze you can see police data and things like that, and accident data and share information. Maybe give us that. Maybe give us that instead of letting us follow a business that we put into our Google Maps. Like that would be way more helpful. Why did you pay billions of dollars for Waze? Like, give me that instead. Okay, next up this week, advertisers can now use CPM bidding to buy Quora ads.
Whee!
Yeah, don't do that.
Vimeo has integrated with LinkedIn so that they've enabled video publishing instantly to your company page. And you can go into your Vimeo dashboard to view the stats on that as well. Super cool.
And of course, LinkedIn is now owned by Microsoft. And so you wouldn't expect YouTube to be here. But don't just use Vimeo because there's an easy button on Vimeo to get it to LinkedIn. Burn the extra 5 calories and use YouTube if that's something that works better for you. Don't make your business decisions off of an easy button.
Yeah, because we said so.
All right. And last up this week, Twitter is contemplating removing the like tool in a bid to improve the quality of debate. In case you forgot, it used to be called the favorite tool in 2015. They changed it to the like tool or like button. And
it's a heart.
It's a like button.
It's a heart.
Okay. Well, guess what?
What?
Don't tell people how to use your software. People use that like for lots of different things. It doesn't mean that you actually like something. Again, it used to be called the favorite, and you can give people options of how to use your platform. Why on earth would you take something away? Like, you might just be, hey, I'm going to read this later, and just use it as a bookmarking option. By taking that away, that is idiotic. And so if they do this, short Twitter. Hot stock tips here on marketingoclock.com.
Wow. When I first read this, I was like making fun of them because they called it a radical move. And I was like, that's not radical, but you just explained it very nicely. So I take that back. But no one ever likes or favorites or hearts my tweets anyway. So I'm going to be free of public shame, which will be nice.
Perfect. All right.
Perfect.
And that brings us to this week's must-read marketing article of the week. An article so in-depth, so detailed that we cannot cover the entire thing here on this week's episode of Marketing O'Clock. And today's article comes from Ginny Marvin of Search Engine Land, and it is a study on Amazon advertisers. And the article is called 80% of Amazon advertisers plan to increase budgets in 2018. And 2019. They might have already increased them for 2018. And there's a lot of slides and detail, and it was based on a fairly robust survey of Amazon advertisers. You can also download the entire report if you'd like, but it is a great look at Amazon advertising. We hear a lot of Amazon advertising in the news, but this is actual data towards what people are doing on it. So go check it out. If it looks good, get the report and judge for yourself.
Amen. And that does it for today's show.
It is now officially not Marketing O'Clock.
Remember, you can catch all the content from today's show on marketingoclock.com and show notes in the descriptions below if you're watching on YouTube. Just make sure to subscribe so you don't miss a single episode.
And we will see you next week.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.